All right, folks, it is now December 6th. We are getting closer to the holidays, and let's have a look at what our Advent calendar serves up for us today. And ho, ho, ho rating to A Christmas Story, Bob Clark's film about little Ralphie wanting the BB gun for Christmas. Absolutely love this film. Really look forward to watching it every year. Bob Clark was an interesting Canadian director. He died a few years back, tragically in a car accident. He actually didn't make that many films, and he actually gets his start making really cheap budget horror films. He made the original version of Black Christmas, which is not on this list, by the way, but it's a pretty effective little horror movie. The whole trope in horror movies where you see the eyes through the killer's point of view, and they use a wide-angle lens to show you the killer's distorted vision. It was Bob Clark that originated that in Black Christmas. A little later in his career, he finds himself as a very young director, signed up to direct what he thinks is going to be a sort of run-of-the-mill horror film in which Sherlock Holmes tries to catch Jack the Ripper. Goes over to England to direct the film, and when he gets there, he finds out that he's got Christopher Plummer cast as Sherlock Holmes, James Mason cast as Dr. Watson, John Gielgud as the Prime Minister, Anthony Quayle as Sir Charles Warren, Frank Finlay as Lestrade, David Hemmings playing an inspector named Foxborough. So basically he finds out that he's still a young guy, maybe in his late 20s, maybe around 30, who up to that point has directed just a lot of really sort of cheesy horror movies. Suddenly he's got in his cast some of the best classically trained British actors of the time. And Murder by Decree is actually a wonderful movie. He does a wonderful job. Why am I bringing that up? What you can see that he really learns on Murder by Decree is just the importance of getting dynamite actors and letting dynamite actors do what they do best. And this is why I think A Christmas Story works so well. Darren McGavin, wonderful actor playing the father, does an absolutely superb job as the father. Sorry, couldn't remember her name for a moment. I was blanking, but Melinda Dillon, again, wonderful actor as Ralphie's mother. I don't have access to any of his notes, but I really do get the sense, especially with McGavin's performance, that he just basically said, you're not playing this character, you're playing this young boy's remembrance of this character, so just go wild and do what you got to do it. And I think that's particularly what makes this film so well. The actors, firstly, are great actors, and secondly, they understand what the gag really is. This is a story told in voiceover narration. It is about a man, as an older man, remembering the Christmases of his boyhood, so we are not getting realistic memories. We are getting childhood memories that are, of course, exaggerated, distorted, and warped. That's why that lovely bit when Ralphie gets his mouth washed out with soap and he fantasizes that he's going to go blind, and that will be his revenge on his mother and father for having done that, works so well. And everything plays in beautifully with that central insight that these characters are not meant to be realistic. They're meant to represent a child's memories, which are by their very nature distorted and not realistic. Also, the simulated swearing when the father is fighting the furnace, or the huge billowing clouds of black smoke coming out of the furnace room as well. All of that, and the exaggerated acting by both, especially by McGavin, but also to an extent by Melinda Dillon, especially in the scenes when the teacher is screaming, "You'll shoot your eye out" at Ralphie, are all absolutely wonderful. I love that bit when they go to see Santa in the department store, and it's actually a traumatizing, horrific experience for them. Not to give you spoilers, because again, works beautifully in with the idea that this is a child's warped, distorted memories. And I especially love the way that Bob Clark uses the killer's distorted vision, subjective camera trope to emulate Ralphie's point of view as he goes to see Santa. Why not a whoa ho ho ho? It's really, really, really good, and really, really, really charming, and it really, really warms my heart. Especially the scene at the end when the two kids are put to bed. You just have that lovely moment at the end when the mother and the father sit down in front of the living room window to watch the snow, listening to the Christmas carols playing on the radio. It is really, really, really good, but is it a capital G great movie? I think here is where its warm-heartedness actually does tend to work against it a little bit. So once Ralphie gets the BB gun, even though the Bumpus' dogs do wind up ripping up the kitchen and they get Chinese turkey for their first Christmas, the note at the end becomes just a little bit artificially sweet. But anyway, still wonderful movie. 3 ho 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 rating. Look forward to seeing it every year. All right, I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow as we count down towards the holidays as well.